Spear Sergeants. A unit thought of very fondly, but fell off massively. But now, Mastery. And I've been waiting a long time to find out, are they any good? Ladies, gentlemen, welcome back. And obviously, today we are looking at the Spear Sergeants. In this video, there might be a little bit of background sound. I just wanted to warn you because I took some of the footage from stream. But yeah, we'll be looking at the Vectry lines, my doctrines, and then obviously the Mastery. And then we'll get into a few clips like usual, and I'll just talk through it. So let's get into the Vectry line and the Mastery and all that. So these are my Spear Sergeants. I think we're going to start off with the doctrines. We're going to look at those because they synergize really nicely with some of the Vectry points, and then we'll get into the Mastery. So starting off, we are starting off with Awareness Doctrine. Basically reduces damage from a cavalry charge by 400, and then reduces damage taken from behind by 15. That's really great. Really, really nice. And that synergizes really nicely with one of the Vectry points that we'll talk about in a second. And then we have a Defense Doctrine 5, 130 defense points to everything, and then reduces damage taken by 6%. Really, really nice. Damage reduction, block increased by 300, reduces damage taken by 60, and that's a 4 doctrine, a block doctrine 4. Noble Blood 1 just helps to mitigate some melee damage a little bit, but then increases their damage and increases their movement speed by 15. That again is really nice for these guys. And then a First Aid 2 that reduces damage taken when armor's pierced by 20 and gives you a 150 heal for 12 seconds on a minute cooldown. That's really nice. Let's look at the Vectry line. Vectry line I have decided to go top with, purely because one of their mastery points, or their last mastery point, is the same as Men at Arms. They heal 3% of the health every second, so the more health they have, the better, and they have 13,000 health, so 13,100, so they heal pretty nicely. And then we have Rear Guard that obviously reduces damage taken from the rear by 10%. That goes really nicely with that other doctrine we've got, that takes us up to 25% reduced damage from behind. That's great. And then again, synergizes really nicely with the other one that reduces our damage taken when our armor's pierced. So yeah, that takes that up to 30%. So this is what kind of makes these guys get nice and tanky. Bit of block recovery, and then non-disperse, more damage. That doesn't really apply to us. And this is a good one. Increases damage to cavalry by 15%. You can go bottom line. I see some people going bottom line to reduce damage taken from cavalry, so then they can really get involved in that. That is nice. Bracing, this is very good for the advance. When you see us using the advance in a minute, this can be very good for that. And sort of stationary, like making formations. But currently I just think 6% health and just having a little bit more health is better, really, with the matching up with the Mastery. And then in terms of defense, we have 1,000 piercing defense, 860 slashing, and 550 blunt. So blunt is their weakness, but it's still okay. 550 is not too bad. It's not too bad. Right, let's have a look at the Mastery. Okay, so the Mastery, the first effect increases health by 780. That's nice, really nice. The more health, the better. Then the next one, increasing piercing defense by 100, increasing slashing defense by 100. Really nice. Increasing defense, nice. Reduces damage taken from infantry units by 300. Again, lovely. Less damage, the better. And then this is quite a cool one. Restores 200 health each time a range damage is taken. So, like, that's quite good when guns are shooting you, because they tend to be the only things that are going to get through your shields. Just kind of mitigates the damage again slightly. And then we got Repel. Repel, when pushing back enemies, the units deal a strike worth triple the damage. So it's basically a triple strike on your advance. That doesn't sound great, but it's actually pretty good. It's actually pretty good. And then Gift of Service, same as Men-at-Arms, restores 3% health when cover commander every second, basically. So very simple mastery, but pretty effective. Pretty effective. Kind of overlooked, I feel. Slightly overlooked. So, let's get into the clips and we'll talk through kind of how to play these guys, how I've been playing them, what's good, what's bad, what's ugly. Let's take a look. So first off, I just wanted to show a clip why you would take these over Imperial Spears, and it's because of this sort of function right here, as well as the healing. They have quite a large amount of damage when you advance them. So that is sort of the gameplay. It's cover commander, advance, cover commander, and you're just trying to like pick out the little bit of heroes like off to the side, away from the units. If you do a full frontal charge to their units, you'll do more damage, but it's still, in terms of other units, not a lot of damage. But against a hero on their own, it's great. You can just suddenly catch them out of off guard. But it's sort of like a slow steamroller coming towards you, so very easy to dodge if heroes know how much damage it's going to do to them. But yeah, sometimes you catch them off guard. That's always great. So in this game, we are literally just we've just got B point, and we're trying to just quell the enemy on both sides. So I thought I would come and fill in this side and sort of sort these Men-at-Arms out here and make sure they can't push into our backs of the other group that are pushing on their way to A, or now on A. So yeah, this unit I've been really enjoying it. I'm definitely not the right class to be playing it. A Dual Blades is not good for this, but like a Poleaxe, a Maul especially, a longsword, short sword would be great. Any bit of it, to be fair, any heavy armor, because the fact that you never need to send these back to the supply point, they're always basically full health. If you watch them on Cover Commander, and you watch when I put them on Cover Commander, and you watch their health, oh my god, it's so quick to coming back. It's about the same as the Men-at-Arms, but because they have, obviously, the Tower Shield doctrines, this means that they've got, like, their defenses are enormous. That means you can't really get through their armor. It takes a lot, like, and especially if I was running Poleaxe or Maul, and was a bit more tanky than being a Dual Blades and, you know, light armor, the amount of extra stuff I could survive would be incredible. But like in situations like this is where they thrive really, really nicely, as well as being on your own. But the problem with being on your own is that they don't really do enough damage to certain units. You just kind of get stuck in a limbo, and as a Dual Blade, they will eventually kill me. But here, like, the Walking Pikes don't do anything to them. They're actually relatively good against Cav. A lot of their vacancy points, as you saw earlier, are to do with Cav, or one of them is to do with Cav. It gives them that extra little boost, so... but they take it on quite well as the having the doctrine that obviously also helps. But it's the healing. Like some of them are low now, but if you watch them, they'll start to tick their way back up, and yeah. But unfortunately, in this one, we are going to get overrun. There is a lot of Cav coming through. I've now left on my own, and yeah, just trying to fight everyone off. But unfortunately, that is the end for me. In this clip, and then we're moving on to Brock Estuary, and yeah, they're going to try and push up on the castle point, that's also known as B, but we're going to see if we can hold them back and see what we can do with these guys. So I go for a little advance here on the claymores. Obviously that's the AI claymores that come with this map, but if something's not got a shield, then it's really worth advancing on them, because you'll hit them for 2-3k each. That doesn't sound like much, but for Spear Sergeants, it's quite a lot. So they're coming in with Stalwarts. Obviously, they're meant to be big brother to these guys, but actually, they don't really do much to me. What will do stuff to you is Halberdiers. You're pretty good against Men-at-Arms. Anything with a mace is obviously quite a tricky one, but that's a tricky one for every shield. But it's worth watching their health and then their sort of... their unit icon down at the bottom there, and watch their health go up and down. It's quite interesting, and the amount of damage, the amount of medals I've got for how much damage I've soaked with these guys is insane. So we've got this Poleaxe and his Stalwarts here. He's already lost some Stalwarts, and what I really love about them, the thing that is quite nice about being a Dual Blade with them, is I fight round them. So they act as like a nice big block for me, and you'll see I'm just going to fight around and yeah, just try and avoid heroes by staying relatively near to my men or have my men follow me. And yeah, it's quite a nice little unit to use if you want to soak damage, be a bit of a tank, have a little bit more damage than Imperial Spears. Not a huge amount more, but just a little bit more, a bit more aggressive in terms of the way they put out their damage. That's nice. I don't think they're as tanky, but with the heal, I think that kind of puts them on the same sort of par. And then it has the advantage of with the heal that, you know, you never need to go back to supply point. They run faster, obviously. That's a good advantage too. But yeah, I think in terms of tankiness, I think with that heal, they're exactly the same in terms of how long they last and what you can get up and do with them. From a big group defensive point of view, great. But I think these guys give you more versatility when you're on your own because you have the insta hero kill button. That longswords, they will probably survive it, but anything sort of below that, you'll be fine. Same battle here, and we've just last few minutes. We're just gonna see if we do a little push on them and push them out of the map. Going for a little advance, just to add a little bit of damage, and you'll see a few hits. It sometimes doesn't land them all, but you'll maybe see incoming clips when I actually landed on some heroes that. Yeah, they just suddenly insta-die. That's always nice to see. And the nice thing about these guys is they are also incredibly good against men-at-arms. Not in so much in killing them, but holding them back for your team to kill and basically just being that damage sponge to your team. But being able to be at the place in the right time because they obviously move slightly faster than Imperial Spears, and then never having to send them back to the supply point. That gives you advantage to stay in the fight all the time, and that's what I like about these. You can be much more aggressive with them than I feel like you can be with Spear Sergeants, Imperial Spears. So yeah, if you haven't picked them up yet, I would, and you like using tanky units and you like the men at arms, then I think you'll end up liking these. You kind of got to get used to using them. This sounds weird, but get used to using them a bit like jabs, where when there's a hero on their own, you try and like stun the hero, knock the hero down, do what you can when your Spear Sergeants are nice and close, and then just advance them straight on top of him, and you'll find that you can land so much damage. So we're just going to push it in here. We're going to go and see if we can wipe out these jabs, just running them over. I think I advance a little bit too early here. I try and want my men not quite out of the crush yet, but we're going to get them in, come around the back, and you know they probably hit for like 600-700 on these guys, so it's not terrible, but it's a kind of slow attack rate and whatever. So you're not going to be doing huge amounts of damage, but it's good enough, and they're tanky enough and kind of useful enough that they feel worthwhile. They're also not bad against Cav. That is quite a nice thing. Obviously, if you get charged by some Winged Hussars or something, you probably lose them, but you know, if the Cav gets sort of stuck on something or are a bit slow to get going, they can land a lot of damage on Cav. For some reason they do because of the Vectrancy line, they do a lot more damage to Cav. That's really nice. Depending on what way you go, you can probably survive it if you go full bottom line Vectrancy, but I prefer top because obviously, as I said, the heal, having that extra percentage of health means more healing for situations like this where you're sort of just you're just in a group and running in the death ball. These guys are what I'd say is the perfect death ball group, just because you never need to resupply. You're always on the go. As I said, as a dual blades, this kind of falls short somewhat because I can be killed very, very quickly, but you know, there we go. We go into the advance there and insta kill him, and that's what I'm talking about with people don't expect it because it just comes out of nowhere. So yeah, it's if you haven't picked them up, I would definitely give them a try. Definitely give them a try. They're also the advance. Another thing to try that hopefully we see in the clips coming up is if there's like Fortebraccios or walking pikes. If you advance them, you don't get knocked down. That's really nice. You advance them, and then they will do a lot of damage. Actually, speaking of it, right here, we go straight into those, and we can just start like getting straight up into the face of the the Fortebraccio that's really, really nice. Very, very good against pikes. And then we're just going to walk him into these guns. Walk him into this guy. He's going to take a little bit of damage. You'll see the kills every time I advance will go up by 2 or 3. And that's literally just them triple stabbing. That is very, very nice. We're going to slow these cav down. We're in a very, very large death ball here. And I got lucky. Every time I had these guys out, I seem to be in this big, fantastical death ball that, well, because I've got these shields that are literally never dying and always soaking. I couldn't imagine how well you could do with these if you were a longsword. So you got your own sustained healing. You're fine. And your unit's healing itself. It's a recipe for disaster when people discover that these guys have an insta-kill function. And it's on the shortest cooldown. Like, it's not like it's got like a 20-30 second cooldown. It's literally like, it feels like 3 or 4 seconds. I think it is about 8 seconds. I can't really remember, but it's super, super nice. What is it, like 10 seconds? It's 10-second cooldown. Is it? Yeah. It's not long though, but it doesn't feel long. And by the time they get over there to actually land the advance, the cooldown's normally already pretty much gone. So yeah, this is what I'm talking about with Cav. We're just sort of we're taking the hits, but yeah, they're doing well. And this is the other advantage. This is why I added the clip of me dying. Is they stay on cover commander and they still heal when you die. They will come and guard your body. And if you look, their health is going up and down. There's a lot of them right now, and they will die. But they're cover commandering. So as in a use for like stopping people getting on the point, if you ran to the point, had cover commander on, and then died on the point, these guys would run to your body and just, start defending you. That I think is a cool function. I don't know if they're meant to function like that, but yeah, I like it a lot. I think that's got some interesting maybe TW values. One being the fact you'll never need to resupply, take these to the supply point to heal if you're being artied or anything like that. You just stick them on cover commander for a few seconds and you're back to full. And then the second, obviously, is that you'll be able to die on point, and these guys will run to the point and guard and stop them from taking it, essentially. Maybe a supply point or even, home base. You have the whole stack, the whole of your team with these on that last minute of them rushing it. And then everyone, when they die on the point, they've got these guys running over on cover commander, just delaying like mad because they continuously heal and everything. Maybe it's a bit of a fantasy, but hey, it's a cool idea, and it's a nice perk that they come and guard your body once you die. I mean, the other downside of it is if you wanted to keep them, you're going to have to press B pretty quickly and not forget that they're going to come over to your body and guard it. So here we're just pushing them off of A, and I see these jabs here, and I'm like, ooh, let's see if we can get a few of these. Get a few hits in, get a Skylark in, try and slow them down with my Shuriken throw, and this Maul decides he's had enough, knocks my whole stack down. They're back up pretty quick. I go for the kick, and here we go. We're going in with the advance. Dead. So, yeah, really good. Really, really nice. Nice unit. And that's it. That is the Spear Sergeants. I think very underrated, actually. I think they definitely have their place in a big death ball. And just general damage soaks, just the healing and everything. I've had a good time using them, but of course I don't think they're meant for dual blades. I'd love to hear how heavy armors get on with the fully masteried and good doctrined Spear Sergeants. I think they'd probably enjoy them. I think you would enjoy them, especially the instant kill capability. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. If you like this sort of content, I'd really appreciate the sub. Take care, and I will see you in the next one.